You done effed up. Yeah, Diamond's in bankruptcy. It's been over a week now. I've been on several shows talking about it. So you've probably already heard a lot of my views on it, but I'm gonna make a video on it anyway because it's topical. Diamond has been my distributor for all 10 years. Diamond has always been there for me. I've said this in other videos that Diamond treats their employees and a lot of their customers like family. And although, we always talk about how great that would be, it sometimes runs into this kind of problem where people have been kept too long. People stay too long because they feel comfortable past their retirement age or past their effectiveness, right? They just don't want to leave because they're so happy. So we know that there's a very low turnover rate in Diamond itself, except for people who have moved on and up out into the comic book world. I think there's just been a few people that had not done their job at 110% to continue their success. I think that there's some people kind of stepped away from the job while COVID was going on and afterwards. And they extended a lot to a lot of comic shops. I'm a pay-as-you-go guy. I cut my number. When I couldn't afford comics, I cut my number. I didn't continue to buy what I couldn't afford. And a lot of comic shops took on debt from Diamond. And that's a problem, right? So like, if all the people that you sell to come in and they just start a little tab with you, and like the tab keeps growing, then you start going, hey, when are you going to pay this? It would start to hurt your business also. So, it's that among losing DC, among losing DC and Marvel, they were still able to carry Marvel books. I continue to get my Marvel books from them. The first week, I do have an account with both Diamond, all three of them. So Lunar and Penguin Random House, I have accounts with all three. When Marvel first moved, I got my books from there and I hated it. I hate their system for ordering. Everybody's like, oh, it's simple. It's simple-ish. It's not as easy as the Diamond. Diamond has kind of been doing it for so long that the system is kind of really good and we're all used to using it. Yeah, I mean, could I learn the other one? Sure. Do I want to learn the other one? No. It's time I have to invest, so on and so forth. A lot of people, like people who aren't in the business, comic shop business, and they're just, the people who throw a lot of hate and shade. Oh, it's not that hard. It's easy. It's better. Whatever. They don't really know. It's not better. It's not easier. It doesn't have pullback attached to it. It doesn't have any place to put my subscribers, so I can't do a pick list when the books come in. I have to have other systems that's not attached to the ordering system. That's both on Lunar and Penguin Random House. So I'm glad that they're in restructuring instead of liquidation. I know that they can be sold during restructuring. I think the company still has a lot of value. They distribute to over 1,200 stores. I think they distribute to more than 1,200 stores. I think that people aren't counting the online sellers that use Diamond. There's also, not only do we have comic books, we also have toys and games and other stuff, which I'm preaching now that you should be more than a comic store. And this is a place where you can get it. Look, I've looked for other toy distributors. If you know a good one, please send it my way. I am always looking for multiple distributors. I'm an old man. Distributors, I have 5 that I use for TCG games. I use 5 different ones because they get their allotment at different times. Different ones give me different allotments, so I have to have a lot of them. And now I have 3 comic ones on top of my 5 other distributors. I really like Steve and Josh, the family, the Jeppies. I think that they have done a lot of great things for comic books that they don't get credit for. I think the hate is mostly on something that was out of their control, which I think ultimately it wasn't out of their control. I think ultimately it was in their control about who fills their orders. And by using pickers and pulls at rented space in warehouses was not a great idea. It caused for a lot of damages, kept their costs low because their profits were low. So it was very important that they maximize profit on the very small percentages they were getting through the comics. So all around, I mean, you can see it if you're a Lunar customer, they're changing their percentages. They're really enforcing their percentages no matter how close you were. It's, you really feel like you are just another number and you can order or not order, which I kind of hate that model. I do like a little bit of personal touch. It is I'm a small comic book shop, very small. And, I spend, a little more than a new car. And I'm a small guy. Some of these big guys are spending houses, with these comic distributors, and there's no personal touch. Lunar had a show at Comic-Con 2 years ago that I was at. At that show, I didn't get a chance to shake a hand of anybody that worked for Lunar. They pretty much ran it with Comics Pro. I got to meet some Comics Pro people. You can see what happened out of that. I have a Comics Pro video. So yeah, it's sterile, oh, email us. And everybody's like, oh, if you send them pictures and do, like, this is all time. And if your time is not worth anything, fine, do all these extra things for that company that you're giving money to. My time is worth a lot. So when I have to spend a half an hour going through, and if you say you don't get damages from Lunar, you get a lot less damages, but you do get damages from time to time from Lunar. And the process is way harder, more painful coming from Lunar than it was from Diamond. I don't have a lot of experience with Random House, but I will, because I'm going to have to start getting some books from them. I was very surprised that Image pulled out completely and didn't give them a chance like Diamond gave them when they ran into a big problem where Diamond extended the hand instead of kicking them down the hill. So no good turn goes unpunished, as I always say. But you have to keep doing good stuff because it feels good, So overall, my take is mistakes were made, and it caused a huge company that most of us have relied on for many, many years to go into bankruptcy. But it's a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they're going to try to work through it. I think with the Jeppies at the helm, they can come out the other side. I just don't know what it's going to look like. A lot of people are predicting a lot of different things. I just hope they're around. As many times as I called and yelled at people about something at Diamond, I still love them. So, go out there, keep reading comics, and open a comic shop.